Nigel, what's the subject?
Rights and choices.
Rights and choices. And it's about what it means to you within your everyday life.
Yeah.
And also the services that provide you with support. Yeah? And how you believe it should be run within that service. And if you think something's wrong, say so, and we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
Yeah? So I'm going to ask you the question. Anybody can answer. All right? What do you think is important about rights and choices? And remember, you're being recorded. What do you think is important about rights and choices for people?
So
Why is it
then-
important?
So they can make their own mind up.
And why is that important, Nigel?
So they can say, I would like to go on the train to Carlisle, and I would like to do that and go around the shops and buy stuff.
So everybody has a right to take part in things that they enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't want to deny people freedom.
No.
But sometimes people's choices aren't achievable.
Exactly.
So it might be, I want to fly to the moon. Now, the chances of that are pretty slim, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they are, yeah.
Yeah?
Very slim.
So when we talk about rights and choices, we're talking about fundamental rights and choices that we all should be able to make. Okay? If we say we'd like to go and buy a brand new car, yeah, but we haven't got enough money, that's not really a reasonable choice, is it?
No.
Yeah, and you can't really ever go back at your staff team or your service to say, well, it's my right. Yeah? So, you said before, Nigel, about if you want to go to Carlisle.
Yeah.
So, tell me why it would be difficult for you if someone said, no, you can't.
Because they're taking that choice away, aren't they? They take that choice away.
And how would that make you feel?
Well, upset and disappointed that no, you can't go.
Do you think if they said to you, but Nigel, you have an appointment today at 10 o'clock when it's important at the doctor's, yeah? So it might be better if you go to Carlisle on a different day, yeah? Do you think they're taking your rights and choices away?
Yeah, because they said that you've got an appointment and then actually explain when the appointment was, or they told you a few days before you got an appointment on this day, so you can't get out of it.
So if it's crucial because of your health that you go to that particular appointment and they say to you, well, really, no, it's just important you attend this appointment. What have they done wrong to start with?
Not telling you.
Right? What should they have done?
Told
Should have
told
told you that you got an appointment on that day.
But going further back, what else should they have done?
Before the appointment was made, what should they have done?
Talk to you.
talk to you.
Sat down and talked to you and said, you got an appointment coming up about your health.
Is it a service's right to make decisions on your behalf in the absence of you being involved in that?
No.
No, it's cruel.
No?
Right? The situation that I mentioned, now I would say it's justifiable if your health is bad and the trip to Carlisle is purely the trip on the bus to go to Carlisle.
Yeah.
Yeah? I would have to say to you, well, actually, really, Nigel, it's more important to attend your appointment, yeah, than actually go for a day out of Carlisle. You maybe go when your appointment's finished or whatever, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And you haven't got the right to force the service to do otherwise, because that's justifiable, yeah? If they've made the appointment for you without your consent,
Yeah.
that's a different matter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all easier. It is different.
Because in some respects, they're actually taking away your freedom. Because if you were thinking about possibly going to Carlisle that particular week, and all of a sudden somebody comes and says, oh, you've got an appointment in such and such, yeah, that's taken people's rights and choices away. What should they have done? But what should the staff have done?
Talk to me about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When should they have talked to you about it?
In advance.
in advance.
Yep.
Sometimes things go wrong,
Ah.
you know, and it isn't always possible. It comes out of the blue and, oh, can so-and-so attend, whatever. But even a simple phone call to say the hospital's been in touch, Nigel, they've only got an appointment or whatever, is that all right with you?
Yeah,
It's a simple thing,
it is a.
isn't it? Now, you had a situation recently when you went to visit your girlfriend. I'll bring this in simply because I think it's a massive for Rights and Choices. Do you want to tell us what happened? You don't need to mention any places or organisations. What happened when you were distressed, weren't you, and you came to us and mentioned it on the Friday? What took place? You went to visit your girlfriend.
I went in, and it was towards lunchtime.
Try and speak up a bit now because it's going to come across as...
It was lunchtime. Now I was kind of hungry, and I said to the girlfriend, "Do you mind if I have me lunch?" And the girlfriend said, "No." So
stop there. Right. Is it fair to say that the decision as to whether Nigel ate those sandwiches or not is down to the two people in the room, and that is his girlfriend and himself? Do you think the decision lies with those two, or does it lie with the service?
It lies with Nigel on his own. It's his choice whether he eats them or not.
Right, so he's asked his girlfriend, and she's quite clearly said, yeah, that's fine. Now, when that took place, for me, that's the end of it. He has the sandwich, he sits with his girlfriend, end of. Right? What happened after that?
one of the staff members came and said, "Can I have a word with you about what you've done?"
Right, stop there. So, that particular individual, I know the individual, I'm not going to mention names on here because we could incriminate ourselves, although I don't really care. That person actually, by doing what she did, they did, he, she, what did that do that broke legislation in relation to rights and choices? What should have happened? There's two people in that room. Did that member of staff have the right to take Nigel from that room to have a word with him?
No.
No.
Right, what should that member of staff have done?
Left Nigel and his girlfriend.
Right, and who else should this person have asked if it was okay to have a word with Nigel?
Jackie.
Jackie was in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Right. By doing what she did, the inference there was that Jackie lacked mental capacity. Quite clearly for me, that says, well, actually, you don't really add up, so I'm going to take him out and talk to him. Right? She broke every flipping policy, right, for me anyway, doing that. She thought it was okay, right? What should she have done? Jen, you said before,
Should ask Jackie if it was alright.
right?
Not
Now-
just take him out of the room.
Yeah, it should have took place.
Without permission.
Took place in the room. Yeah?
Oh.
And
Yeah.
she could have quite easily said, well, is it all right, Jack? Right? Now she's going to say, well, actually, I've asked Jack. Or Jack could have said, well, it's okay.
Yeah.
Now she's fine with that. End of.
Yeah.
No distress, no anxiety. But Nigel was very distressed and very anxious, right, after that took place.
Yeah.
Now, that is not an anomaly. This happens a hell of a lot within services. We were in a situation where Nigel was explaining what happened on a particular day when he was approached by a member of staff and was asked to leave the room with that member of staff, and he was then told what? What did the member of staff say to you?
So I couldn't have me sandwiches in front of my girlfriend because it upset her, basically.
Yeah, was that right or was that wrong?
If he wants to have his dinner with his girlfriend, he's allowed to.
Yeah, that's. I mean, for me, I wouldn't even have thought that was on the table
Yeah.
to discuss. You know,
Yeah,
it's a given.
I
They can't
asked
stop it. Their staff can't stop Nigel having dinner with his girlfriend if he wants to have dinner with his
Yeah, I
girlfriend.
asked if it was okay. He said, it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, there could be mitigating factors in that, as in it might distress Jacqueline, and she didn't have the capacity mentally to actually express that, and that's the mitigating factor which would, for me anyway, would give some justification to say, well, actually, Nigel, it would upset Jack. But even with that, you would do it in front of Jacqueline, you wouldn't take the person away. Now, the policies we've got in place, and I know Luke reads them avidly every evening when he goes to bed, right? In rights and choices, in rights and choices and DOLS, which you know about, deprivation of liberty,
Oh, yeah.
there are quite clear guidelines about exclusion and inclusion, right? Anybody know what inclusion means?
No.
If I start doing something now and say, Jen, it's not to do with you, just you sit over there, right? What am I doing with it?
Exclude.
Excluding it,
Yeah.
all right?
You're telling me off.
Yeah, am I including her?
No.
No, in psychology it's called group closure, and people do it in everyday life. You know, you can walk into a room, people having this dim like that, they don't even acknowledge you. And sometimes there might be a case where you're so into your subject that you don't see that person come in.
Yeah.
But when you're aware of them there, what you should do is include them. Even just a simple, "Hiya Luke, you alright?" Yeah? Otherwise that person's left like that and on the fringes. It's not nice. Okay? So she broke that legislation, she broke that law there, right? And she also excluded Jacqueline from the situation, very overtly, by taking you away. And she didn't include Jacqueline in the situation, did she?
No.
So this happens quite a lot. And the reason why I think it's a good one to begin with, we will come back to it, is it happens all the time. And even members of staff ignore the fact it's going on. We had a situation with Jennifer. Now, we were promoting time with Jen, because at that particular point in time, she spent a lot of time on her own. We went down, I'll let Trey tell the podcast, dictaphone, something, about that, which also brought in the issues around rights and choices.
Remember you invited us round if we were in town to come and have a cup of tea one day, and we came and visited you, and when we came, one of your staff came to the door, and what did she do?
Turn you away.
She tried to turn us away. She said we weren't able to come in and visit you at that time. We asked her why, because you can't come in, we're busy. But we had asked, you had given us, you know, the option to come, you'd asked us to come, so we asked to see you, didn't we?
Yeah.
You came to the door, didn't you? And we realised that you were quite upset because you had asked us to come, but
Yeah.
your staff had stopped us from coming in. So at that time we came away, didn't we? We said, it's okay, Jen, we'll come and see you another day.
Yeah, we chose to do that because you were distressed at that time, Jen. I mean, we didn't really want to leave you because, you know, that situation could have been better handled by the member of
Yeah.
staff, but it obviously wasn't. Now, Jennifer herself said, when we discussed it, this particular activity that took place could have waited or been done at a different time, yeah? But the member of staff didn't actually discuss that with Jen or with ourselves. It was just, we were excluded, yeah? But it also excluded Jennifer from time with her friends, yeah, because Jen had invited us down. Is that breaking rights and choice policy?
Yes.
There's not even any issue around that, is there? I mean, you know, anybody who wants to challenge me on that can do if they want to, but that person's home, yeah, if they say, do you want to come down for a cuppa, yeah, an activity's going on that isn't crucial, it wasn't crucial, was it, Jen?
No.
Yeah, they could even have let us in, sat for a few minutes until Jen had finished and then carried on. That's what you'd do with your mates, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But because she's got LDD, oh no, she does the money on that day, no, you can't come in. Now, for me, that's quite clear exclusion, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and again, there's no getting around that. Has anybody got any comments before we...
Yes.
Oh,
Just one at a time?
Yeah.
One at a time.
Go on, you were first. Any thoughts, Mark, on what we've been talking about?
I don't think these are appointments.
Yeah, so you think that's becoming a bit of an issue for you now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know you were quite upset when you came in about it because you said right away. Normally, I can tell with you, if you say something right away, it's been bothering you. Yeah? How do you think that could be rectified in the future, Mark, to avoid that?
I don't know.
What could the staff do or your organisation to avoid that?
Do more than that, can't they?
What kind of things could they do?
Read it in the book more often.
Do you think it would be better, and I know Luke mentioned this earlier, do you think it would be better to come to you
Yeah.
and talk to you as an individual
Yeah.
and say, right, Mark, you know, review's coming up and,
Yeah.
you know, I know you've got your Friday session with Harry and Trey, but, you know, how we fix for fitting one in,
Yeah.
you know, and then you know then in advance,
Yeah.
like Luke said, in advance.
Yeah.
And if you know in advance, and I know Gary prefers this, you're much more settled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas it's disturbed you because it's on the back of the funeral,
Uh,
it's on the back of the doctor's appointment, and then this recent one now. And quite clearly, it's almost like people ignoring the fact that you've got a choice and a say in it. Yeah, I mean that's something I can't legislate for you. I can only, you know, deal with it through this particular medium.
Time was out there, the place then.
Yeah, well, we'll you know, we'll have a chat about that on Friday as well. So, nothing else, Lucy? Are you okay with that?